You know, I have had really bad luck with the whole you're in the hobby deal. From cringy experiences to games that last 3 session stops to some plot annoyances. But nothing marks this better than the very first time I rolled a d20 for a game. This goes back to when I joined my college D&D club, the one I talked about before. The very first time I got to hear about the game actually being accessible to me in over 20 years of me living, just seeing it parodied and referenced on TV. My friend showed me the player's handbook in PDF form, because piracy isn't a Mexican stereotype, right? Right? They did have the book though, don't worry. Which they printed copies of, which was probably just as expensive as getting the... You know what? We're getting off topic. Fact of the matter is, they show me the races and classes, including the Elemental Evil expansion. And believe it or not, my first character was not a halfling nor a gnome, contrary to what most people who know me would believe to be my first character. But instead my eyes were set on the Aarakocra, the bird people. Bird people! As an Aarakocra, I was recommended to go Ranger, since they have good dex and wisdom bonus. Me not knowing anything about the game and having a totally not obsessed crush with bows, accepted the mix and created my very first character, Kiractic, or just Kira, for simplified things. So, with character sheet on hand, and full of hopes and dreams, it was now just about finding a group, which, to be fair, wasn't that difficult, as my friends pointed me towards a dungeon master that they were making a group with. But as they heard I had no experience at all with the game, the group got together to do a one-shot and teach me how combat usually goes, as I was still intimidated by the character sheet. To me, it was a maze of numbers and boxes, incredibly blank boxes no one ever fills for some reason. Fill your character sheet, people. Fill it. Don't be afraid of it. Regardless, it was a combat scenario. So they placed around 6 players to fight a Hydra. For initiative, we went just clockwise, starting with the player next to the Dungeon Master, and going all around with me at the very end so I could see people in action, to see what they can do. I saw melee attacks, buffing, and damage spells. Then it came to my turn. I asked the Dungeon Master if I could make a check to study the creature, as I knew nothing of the Hydra other than what Disney told me. So I had to act like I didn't know cutting the head was dangerous, but wanted to see if my character would have an idea about it. The Dungeon Master looked at me, and with a smile said, "Sure thing, you just need to make a nature check." Thinking back to it, with my current knowledge, it should have been an Arcana check, but hey, let's ignore my inner rules lawyer for a sec. Hey! You stay the hell out of this, you fun-hating vampire! Where was I? Nature check, right. So I looked at my character sheet, saw the +5 to nature, and in my head I was like, nice, she has this. So, remember how I said this story was about my on-brand bad luck? Because believe it or not, my first ever D20 roll was indeed a natural one. Now, nowadays I know that crits on skill checks are not a thing, but they are really popular in groups. It's a really common house rule. They usually cause a distraction or getting no information whatsoever, or it's just a simple fail. But this group had a particular taste for crits. In this case, Kira's natural one was not just a failure. The DM described how Kira was looking at the Hydra really intensively and staring and staring, and she got acid splash on her eyes. Both of them. Turns out, crit ones in this group can give monsters a completely new ability. In this case, the Hydra gained the ability to shoot acid from its tail, and during my turn, effectively turning my long-range ranger useless, as she was now blind and the Hydra now had a new extra attack. Long story short, it took me several turns to clean up the acid, and we even got to kill the Hydra. There are more instances like this that caused me to be afraid of homebrew rules and rolling natural ones. Although I've seen funny scenarios thanks to them, most of my experiences were nonsensical and pain-inducing. Regardless, thank you guys for motivating me to try this whole video making thing again. I'm not great at it, but hey, here's hoping practice makes perfect. Have a good one, and here's hoping you have a better luck starting the hobby than I did.